All right. Hey, late and gay. Wasn't late, I wasn't planned, so I'm on time. Anyways, good evening, guys. Um, so how is everybody doing tonight? Thought I'd take advantage of the fact that pretty much most of the legal part of YouTube is at VidCon or Legal Bytes wedding, so I thought I'd take advantage of the power vacuum. We'll give everybody a minute or two to come in and see what's going on. Yeah, hey, chemtrails are serious business. You keep joking about them, but that's serious, serious shit. I don't appreciate you joking about it. Power grift move? I know. Seizing that power right now. Yeah, I hope Nick would be proud. Yeah, it got passed. Sadly, that was the crappy part about tonight. Um, anyways, hello Patricia, Michael. Yeah, Ree. Yep, no, that's. Hey, there's a lot of reading going on. I'm reading about what got passed in the House tonight, so a lot of butthurt to go around tonight in America. Yeah, it's the land of the butthurt and the home of the Rees. The little spling glyphosate in British Columbia. That's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. Nick would be proud. Yeah, so guys, if you have questions about what the Supreme Court's done in the past 2 days, that's really the biggest thing. Not just, what happened with New York v. Bruin, but also Vega v. Teco, and then also today with Dobbs. Those are two big things, and then what the Senate and the House did over the past 2 days. Yeah, I think those are more than enough topics to cover for right now. Oh, Dankula's tweets were fucking hilarious. I would love to have him on right now and talk to him about all that. But yes, Justice Dankula. He trolled so many people. But yeah, guys, ask away questions. There's really all kinds of things to talk about, and we'll go from there. I will say congratulations to Alita, also known as Legal Bites. She was married today. So I just want to say cheers to her. I hope her marriage is long lasting and full of joy and happiness. So cheers to her. As far as the right to privacy, I don't. I don't think so. There's probably going to be people who are going to overblow it and act like this is the end of the world. This really forces the states to make their decisions. And I'll just use an example as privacy. I know you're that's a question you have, but even when you Control F privacy in the opinion, 13 times you can find the word privacy in a 213 pages. That's it's not necessarily the issue of the right to privacy. It's yeah, I don't think this really gets that. If you're right to privacy, if you're worried about under your Fourth Amendment concerns, I don't think so. You ultimately have the right to be private in your own decisions. that's not going away. That's not going away. This right exists, but it's just not going to be federally protected. Um, what I would tell many people who are concerned about abortion rights, welcome to being a gun owner. Um, you're acknowledged to have a right, but all the states can run roughshod over you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Um, and that's with an enumerated, explicitly stated right. So, um, like I said, it can be a lot worse. And it's. I think the court, when they said it best, Roe conflated the right to shield information from disclosure and the right to make important decisions without governmental interference. And that's the right to privacy, is the right to have your information shielded from disclosure. You have the right to do that. You don't always have the right to not have governmental interference. And I think that's, because obviously you can't do anything you want. You can't just sell your organs. You can't do a lot of things. Uh, it does, but there's also issues of, and I think the court's right, though, when they Clarence Thomas is correct when it came to Casey. Uh, when they did Casey v. Planned Parenthood. Okay, well, they jettisoned and they really didn't discuss privacy anymore. So it's almost like they abandoned it 20 years ago. Well, almost 30 years ago now. Um, I think the syllabus does a great job of explaining the privacy concern there. But yeah, if somebody's really worried about, your privacy, with the Fourth Amendment, I don't think that's an issue. I think, yeah, the Supreme Court's going to whittle away your Fourth Amendment rights anyway, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Does it mean to lock your boyfriend in chastity forever? I'm not sure he's going to like that part. I don't think he'll like that part at all. Yes, I think if you're really going to be serious about privacy, there really is no such thing as privacy given how the government operates, but that's not where the Supreme Court's operating. Um, you know, are this going to impact on the states? Well, a bunch of states already have triggers in place. Laws that were set up to say, should Roe v. Wade be overturned, abortions are now illegal, or they're at so many weeks is the minimum. There are a bunch of states, and actually, the map I saw recently was a lot of states. Um, and by a lot, I mean a shitload. There were here. This Sorry, my allergies are giving me cough. It's not pleasant today. Um, yeah, here you go. Uh, Here is, I think, a great showing of what's going to happen here. Sorry, guys, we're kind of doing this on the fly. Figured I'd come set up. So, yeah, this is basically where each state stands. The blue states, which are were already blue states, um, this isn't subliminal messaging at all or intentional. No way. Uh, they're going to allow abortion. All the states that are pink or red, the red ones, Roe being overturned triggered bans. In a lot of states, there's this pink where something's going to happen. I would say Ohio is actually probably going to have a trigger. The way the Attorney General for Ohio today, I noticed it because he was tweeting about it. They went to federal court and got an order for a case I wasn't aware that actually had been under injunction. So, yeah, Ohio's going to join that list. But yes, basically, it's kind of a breakdown of a political map you'd see anyway. But yeah, these are probably all going to have some sort of bans. They might have outright bans, or they might have very, very short time windows. I think in Ohio, when the bill was passed a couple years ago, it said 6 weeks was the cutoff line. So I think that was the heartbeat. I think Ohio's a heartbeat one. I think it's 6 weeks. So, is 6 weeks really much better than a complete ban? That's going to be an issue for courts to decide. Yeah, it doesn't outlaw the abortion, but a lot of states will outlaw it. That's the issue. It's kind of like with guns. The guns, there's guns can't be completely outlawed, but there are a lot of states going to do their damnedest to fuck with them. So it's kind of the thing in reverse. Well, I mean, if you really feel that way about our RBG, the fact she held out for as long as she did was actually very pivotal. Whether it was hubris and that she thought she was going to live forever, or she wanted to see Hillary Clinton win, I'm not sure which. Instead of quitting during Obama's term, she tried to ride it out. So the fact she kept going was probably a good idea if you're in that situation. Jacqueline, I live in Texas. Does it affect my access to birth control? I don't know. I don't know how Texas's law is set up. I don't think, even then there's still a right to contraceptive access through Griswold v. Connecticut and a couple other cases. You probably still have access to that. I wouldn't know for sure. But the best thing I can tell you to do is if you do have access, if you do get contraceptives somehow, talk with your provider about that. Talk to your pharmacist. Do I still have access to it? The answer he might tell you right now is we don't know. But I would just point out if it's going to be some states, the contraceptives are going to be heavily restricted in a way. But I don't think they're going to be outright banned. So I don't know what type of contraceptive you use, so that might be an issue as well. Do you use the pill? Do you use an IUD? Do you, do whatever? But yeah, that's up in the air, and I think that's going to be state by state. Yeah, freedom of association you never hear about, but it's usually tied in with some other rights that get argued. But it actually gets talked about a lot. It's just never the frequent seminal case or the seminal issue on a Supreme Court case. Don't be late again, Rita. Don't appreciate it. We're on time in this. We're on time in this organization. Oh wow, holy shit, this went too far. You can donate your organs, Peggy, but you can't sell them. Like, I have an extra kidney right now. I can't sell that. I can't sell part of my liver. You've got to be, you have to do a voluntary exchange for that. I can't go sell them. There's multiple times where the government can interfere with what you do in your life. You can't, take certain drugs. I mean, there's no place in America where I can just choke down tons of fentanyl, except for like San Francisco. The government interferes in a lot of ways. We are worse than Mexico. No. I mean, it's still better here than it's better here than there. Yeah, are there pallets of bricks? That who knows? I have a feeling tonight might get a little spicy overall. Yeah, and I see that happening in states that want to support abortion rights. There's going to be the counterbalance of pretty much no limitations going the other way, and I feel the Supreme Court's going to have to step in on those as well. So we'll see. Here in Michigan, they're freaking out. Yeah, well, it's a big topic, and it's funny because, people in Michigan are upset about that. And, for the New York State pistol and rifle case from yesterday, the governor of New York said she's fine with everybody owning muskets and going back to the old school interpretation. Just on both sides. Yes. TJ Maxx still gives you a clothes hanger when you buy an outfit. Oof. Oof. Uh, yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me. There's going to be cities where people are getting a little rowdy tonight. First responders media is streaming. Huh. I'll have to look for them real quick. Maybe there's something to watch. Uh, don't mean to be macabre about it, but let's see. Uh, okay, you know what? We will come to this in a second. I'll come to this in a minute. I'm going to read a couple more chats real quick. Yeah, smash that like, share the stream. Yeah, I'd appreciate it, guys. If you like it, please like and please like it. Certainly wouldn't hurt. Uh, so when Russia invades Canada, um, um, I just think. Oh, as far as Ginsburg, yeah, I think she was just a mean old woman who didn't want to give up. I mean, I don't understand why she kept going. I mean, it smacked of me of vanity. I think she got wrapped up in the, oh, she's the notorious RBG. It's like, I think she kind of bought some of the nonsense after a while. Um, yeah, I mean, she worked hard and she did a lot of work, Maeve, and I agree, but I think she knew she should have bailed when she had the chance, but she just didn't want to give it up. And a lot of people are cursing her to this day. Random question: what's with the DC-10 on the shelf? That's my grandfather. My grandfather flew for United, for like over 30 years, and he flew a bunch of different planes. And that was a model he had in his office. And when he had passed, that was something I thought was kind of cool. So I thought I'd take that and just hold on to it. It's kind of neat. Um, Sweet Tooth, I can't imagine birth control will be banned nor the day after pill. I could see the day after pill being banned or heavily restricted. Normal birth control, probably not, but I could see the day after Plan B being restricted in some states. That wouldn't surprise me. Uh, yeah, but for some people who are pushing some of these bans, they view that all as you're getting in the way of nature, and if you don't want to have a baby, their argument is going to be, well, don't go canoodle, because that's actually the purpose of canoodling, is to make more people. Brandon, how are you doing? Um, how much weed can I get for a donated kidney? Hope. Let me know. I'm curious to find out. Maybe you can get like the weight in weed. Yeah, I think there are a couple different like apps and websites you can do that where they give you a doctor online. So, yeah, like I said, this is not the end of, there are going to be ways around this, just like every law. There's always a way around it. It's just how much do you want to go? Well, with Thomas wanting to review Griswold and Oberfell, how did Alito thread that needle? Because that Thomas always wants to go, all the way back to the beginning. I think if Thomas had his way, he'd abolish the Supreme Court at the end of the day. Um, but that's the thing. If you read Thomas's opinions, he's always been for, he thinks the Supreme Court has done a lot of fictional ways it's made rights in the way it's analyzed cases. So that's not rare. That's not a surprise. I'll tell you this much: if you had 6 Clarence Thomases on the Supreme Court, the New York State pistol and rifle case probably would have legalized machine guns probably yesterday. That's how far he would have gone. Well, Peggy, right now what happening looks like in LA is not a women's march. It looks like it's a group of people protesting. So it's not just women. It's a lot of people. But right now it looks peaceful. Men will think, well, you can make the joke that men can have babies technically. Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be a ton of litigation, but I think at the end of the day, it's probably the right decision. Um, it should probably be a state's issue. There's so many other ways the states get to make their own regulations on other topics. I think a great example is guns. We're not, we have 50 separate sets of gun laws, and if that's for an enumerated right, for a right like this, 50 different rules and 50 different laws. But yes, until that gets settled, there's going to be millions of lawsuits filed covering a million different topics. We might get to some White Claws later. Um, let's see here. God, this thing jumps around too much. Uh, yeah, there's appears to be a big protest in California, and yeah, it's certainly the people who are protesting aren't happy with the decision today, but they're still allowed to voice their displeasure over a national decision, even though they're in a state where they'll be protected. It's not, it's not necessarily wrong. It's just you can still voice your opinion that hey, the rest of the country's getting hosed. So I don't think that's really irrational. Russia is not going to invade Canada. Russia's having a tough enough time fighting the Ukrainian army. RBG's favorite movie was Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah. Um, no, but there's quite a few times during oral arguments she'd be sleeping in those and kind of like zonked out. There's drawings of that happening where her head's just like um. Oh, Guyver Mecton, super chat. Thank you, $5. Appreciate it. I can't tell what that emoji is, but to today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Um, yes, hello, favorite randos. Yeah, Eric the Red, birth control is used to regulate periods. That's why I don't necessarily think birth control itself will be. I don't think that's going to have as many problems as the day after pill. I think that's where you're going to see the next fight. Um, the birds and the fishes. Canoodling. I gotta get around YouTube's rules. I don't want to piss off Susan too much. Um, I bet if men can get pregnant, many would sing a different tune. Men can get pregnant. Um, Men can be pregnant. I don't know why you would have such a transphobic argument, but men do in fact get pregnant. Um, Um, yeah, except for Loving, but then again, though, you have to remember Clarence Thomas is married to a white woman. Ginny Thomas is white. It's an interracial marriage. So is Thomas saying all these cases are wrong, or these rights don't exist, or is he saying the way the court came about it was incorrect? Because that's what he said here with Dobbs. The court didn't do it the right way. And to be fair, Ginsburg, for the longest time, said the court did not do Roe the right way, and that it should have been done better, and there's better ways it could have been done. So, is he saying that those aren't real rights? I doubt it. I think he would say it's just the court either needs to make it through the states or it needs to articulate those rights in a different way. Thomas has always been a little more libertarian and more based than Scalia ever was. Suffragettes, yeah. Well, hey, the right to vote is serious. I mean, there are a lot of movements throughout history where using direct action, so that happened a lot. Oh, hold on. Wow, damn it, this thing jumps around too much. Uh, Jacqueline, I don't think so. Um, it's not going to take us to the time of the Puritans. I know it sounds bad right now, but I don't think it's going to end up being that way. It's not going to turn into the Handmaid's Tale or anything like that. Um, I don't, you know, the same. I think it's interesting. The same people who say, somebody like me, they'd say, "Sean, calm down. We're not going to take away your guns." Are the same people who, on the other foot, are now worried. Oh my God, it's going to turn into the Handmaid's Tale. We're going back to Puritan times. If it's wrong for me to think the government's going to run around and steal all the guns, is it really rational to think on the other foot when it's an issue for that side? Oh my God, it's the end of the world. I think it's, if you're going to say, not you, but if people on that side would say, once the other side's overreacting, I think that requires you to think, well, maybe we're overreacting too. You think Thomas thinks Marbury v. Madison was wrong? I'd like to say yes, but at the end of the day, he's a judge in a court, so I feel like he would want to keep his job. So I'm not sure he's willing to cede that much authority and is that radical. I'd like to think he would, but I wouldn't count on it. Eric, it's I don't know if it's funny. I mean, to some people they feel the world's ending and this is serious. If New York State, if Bruin had gone the wrong way yesterday, a lot of people would be in a similar situation on the other side of the aisle. So, um, some people have that issue. Yeah, lots of lawyers are going to be able to make some money out of this. They're not going to be uh, bored. So, yeah, it's something to think about. Uh, well, I mean, maybe that just means you're going to be, make sure you find like the chaddest of the chads, the alpha chad, to do that with. Maybe you'll be able to find be really selective and find that, 12 out of 10. Um, this decision won't affect California. I know, but they have the right to, you'll still say this is a bullshit decision. So, for example, in Bruin, if Bruin had gone the other way, I'm sure people in Texas would be protesting, even though in Texas, the gun laws aren't going to change. they would still just voice their displeasure. So I don't think it's that obnoxious. Now, yes, if they start like lighting things on fire and dragging people out of cars and beating them to death, okay, yes, I think we'd agree that's a bit much. 125 people, holy shit, we're doing good. Oh, another super chat. From AD, $20. Thank you very much. In Thomas's concurrence, he left open the door to review decisions through the Privileges and Immunities Clause. Yeah, exactly. He's not saying that they don't exist. He's just saying the court did it wrong. And that's really what happens. And that's a way to look at things. If the court is, if it's not that the concept is wrong, it's just that the way you came about it was wrong. Yes, and I think using the Privileges and Immunities Clause, it's a different way. It's a different set of jurisprudence. Because obviously, like I said, he's not going to abolish interracial marriage or say states can ban it because, he lives in Virginia. In Virginia, it was Loving v. Virginia. Virginia banned interracial marriage. So the idea he would say it's okay to ban interracial marriages when he's in an interracial marriage and lives in a state that did ban interracial marriage, that doesn't make much sense. So like I said, I don't see Oberfell and anything else just being told Lamau doesn't exist anymore. I think would be reinterpreted under a different standard and a different jurisprudence. I'm not Kurt, so that's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, our RBG was a little lady. Oh, men do get pregnant. I've seen pictures of it. Apparently, it was a man who got pregnant. So, oh, okay. It looks like First Responders Media. It looks like it stopped. Let's see if there's any more Roe v. Wade protests. It looks like there's nothing live. Oh, yeah, there's... you know what? We'll stream this for a minute. If you guys want to see something, and maybe you'll get to see some people going crazy. The baby comes out of the penis or the anus. Oof, jeez, that would be rough if the baby came out of the wiener. Men don't get pregnant. What am I talking about? A little tongue-in-cheek, but it's that there are women who transition to men who still retained all the parts and were able to be pregnant. So if trans men are men, then men can be pregnant, therefore men can have babies. I'm Joseph, I'm just telling you what society's trying to tell me here. It does happen, apparently. So I'm merely just reciting to you what I've been told is the truth. Otherwise, it's transphobic. Yeah, well, I don't know if there's Ricada tonight, so I guess I'll just steal a spot and take over. Oh, Laundry Clips. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for clipping some stuff out. I appreciate it. Last Monday was fun. Oh, damn, this thing kills me. Yes, Skyrim acted, yes. There's a little bit of sarcasm there, but, I do think it's an awful argument, and I do think that even if you are a male and you transition to female, I still think you are a male, and I still think ultimately biologically, females that transition to males are still female. So you're not a man who's pregnant, you're a female who is pregnant. You just happen to be transgender. Oh, yeah, that is yeah. If you're into that, that can be a very fun time. He said it's, hey, that is the skill in being a very sarcastic person. And Barton Bella, they should not legislate from the bench. Well, they're not legislating. They're saying it's not our job. Um, Legislating from the bench would be saying we're going to assume an issue and we're going to make it our problem. This is a case of them abdicating it, saying, look, it is not our realm, it's not our job, it's not our circus, it's not our monkeys. This is a job for the states to decide, and then the states need to come to us if there's problems. So it's actually one of the few times where the court is trying to punt on an issue. Um, what do we have going on? Looks like uh, something's going down. Yeah, Eric, I think that's a great, Second Amendment people are, looking at pro-choice people saying, welcome to the party. Yes, because that's pretty much the case. Um, well, it would be nice if they got rid of Castle Rock, but remember, I think I've said this before, and I said it on a Good Logic stream on Sunday night. The courts are part of the government. The government is not going to let you sue the government and attack the government. So, yeah, that's not going anywhere anytime soon. Uh, oh, yes, I'm sorry, Bella. I misread you. Okay, I understand. Yes, I agree with you. God, I'm trying to catch up. For now, they are, but there's going to be some states where the morning after vote probably will be restricted. Um, wouldn't surprise me at all. I think that was an issue in some of the states when they passed some of these laws that got held up or were triggered waiting for Roe to go away. So I don't think that's fair. But yeah, as of right this second, nothing's changed. All that stuff still exists. Um, Stop showing my comments. A name of some sort? Yeah, okay, yes. Apparently a lot of people are mad. So hold on, guys. I'm just trying to catch up on here. Yeah, no Nick tonight is good for business. I know. Well, if I got Nick's level of stuff, that would be good for business. But hey, anything's better than nothing, really, at this point. Any port in a storm. Ooh, $5. AD for $5. What trimester did Roe find a constitutional right in? Um, well, they broke it down, and that's where they came up with the trimesters. And I think Nick is very accurate. These judges were making it up, and they really had no idea what the hell was going on. Prenatal and developmental medicine in the 60s and 70s was a joke compared to today, and that's where they had the trimesters. And they obviously said the third trimester is off limits, and the first trimester, obviously, the first 3 months. But that's where you get to the 12-week bans, and it's that gray area was the the second trimester in the middle. And that's where you saw that when these states would go down to 12 weeks or 14 weeks, and that was such a big deal in the news because you're getting out of that middle trimester into the first trimester. That's where a lot of people were. I hope that answers your question. I mean, that's kind of the way things have broken down since then. Thank you again for the super chat. Yes, law semantics, politics, political water is wet. Sean Kill Nick. Should keep your mouth shut, not ask questions. I mean, maybe I did. Are you going to snitch on me? You going to go tell the police? I thought you were cool. I mean, we're trying to be cool in here, dude. We don't want no snitches. Yes, it's well, okay, that's, I think, being a bit that's not fair to us. It's a normal language, we just make it complicated. Yeah, and she's correct. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, even the most you know, she thought she was there to defend women. She's like, yeah, this was a bad case. Much of the writing and comments she made on it, I think, are correct. And a lot of people didn't disagree with her. You know, yeah, that would be always, it's more interesting to see that than nothing. Actually, hold on, is there any sound for this? Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean for that to be no sound on, but yeah, just watch what's going on. Well, AD, if there's a blue wave, can abortion be federally codified? The Supreme Court just said no. Now there is an... Oh, sorry. We lost the stream, I think. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. Things got a little jammed up for a second. It's still technically not their job. It shouldn't be federally codified, and I don't think it should be. You know, I don't want gun rights federally codified either. So... there's more police than protesters. Yeah, but hey, you know, a protest is still a protest. You know, it's just, for right now, who knows where there's other stuff going on. It might get bigger at some point. Remember, it's also the first night. Check Portland for the regular Friday night riot. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think that's the case at all, Eric, especially if you listened to me last night. I got spayed, so I don't need to worry about pregnancy. I don't think that you should really call it getting spayed if you're a human being. But hey, if you want to. Yeah, Nick is at Alita's wedding. A lot of the Law 2 people are. I was not able to get away. My scheduling didn't allow for me to make it out there. So, once again, Alita, congratulations. But yeah, him and a bunch of people are at those weddings. I think he was going to a wedding. If not, he's on vacation of some sort. And I think Kurt went to VidCon, and a bunch of guys went to the wedding. This is definitely a helicopter. It's not a drone. Yeah, well, hey, you know, we get a little bit more of this and a couple of White Claws on me. That might happen. Yeah, Bella, I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up as a correction, yeah. From Wrestler Town for $2. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Shooting, birthing, and Constitution. Is this the riot? No, it's not a riot yet. It looks like a protest still. They haven't done anything serious, so, I mean, it's just still a riot. I mean, it's not a riot. Are we not going to back alley abortions like in the 1950s? I mean, I think that's going to be an issue of, once again, just like with guns, they can't be completely banned. So I think any state that completely bans any and all abortions will not survive court review. Now, do I see a lot of states eliminating elective abortions? Sure. Do I see states actually allowing, okay, for the real medical emergencies and exceptions and the, for rape and incest and all that? Yeah, I could see that still surviving, but, yeah, I see a lot of states getting rid of elective procedures. So it's not as though there won't be any abortions, period, but for the majority of them which are elective, they're probably not going to be allowed to do in those states. So, yeah, you're going to have to go to another state to have it happen, or, yeah, you're going to have to do it that way, which seems like a really great risk compared to actually just having the child. And I'm not saying that's easy, but, that is a consequence of the actions that it's kind of like that TikTok, here come the consequences. Your consequences are chasing you down. I've tried to send a super chat 4 times. First time they went through and they refunded it. Next 3 times just rejected. No foul language or controversial topics. I don't have any limits on what you can't say. So it might be something you said. I mean, it may not be a complete swear word. Try it again in a different way is what I would say. Use leet speak in numbers if you have to. 1, I think you're talking about with Roe. Yeah, it's the first semester, and then it's that second trimester. It's where the gray zone is. The law goes like this. This is actually pretty accurate. Okay, it's not meant to be an occult art, but jeez. Get on the cool kid sites and spam repeatedly. Yeah. We are watching, I believe it's in LA, people are protesting the Supreme Court ruling. I thought we might watch it in case something spicy happened, but looks like it's getting kind of boring there, so we might chase something else or look for something else going on. The law pope is immortal, pickled in the finest whiskeys. Try Jeff Mack. Alright, we'll give Jeff Mack a shot here. Crap. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Is it, yeah, let's see here. Okay, yeah, it looks like, yeah, we'll go to Jeff Mack. I hope he doesn't. I hope he's not a copyright cuck himself, so we can have that going in the background. I'll leave the sound on for you guys. So, yeah, here we go. It's, I guess I hope Jeff is not a tool about it. You're smarter than you look. You're smarter than you look. Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing VidCon at Aaliyah's wedding.
FB140, 31 FB140.
I'm gonna leave the sound on, just if people want to listen to it.
Jeffro, they did get the guy with the
I
fireworks.
might turn it down a little bit if that's
At
an
least
issue.
they're actually making arrests. Charles, I haven't seen anything.
I'd rather be bored than
Phoenix
scared or
lately.
worried.
There was something going on
I mean,
earlier.
People like to
but
think it's fun when
currently,
stuff
I'm not
happens,
seeing-
but once it happens,
Most
you
live
like when
streams
it's go
are
back
right
to
here,
normal.
and then there's one in Sacramento and one in New York that I've found.
We need to grab some air for a minute.
Can't
copy that. We can widen now, too.
Sure, yeah, I can slow the chat down here in a second.
Oh, another super chat. Night, Sean. 6 try. Have a great night. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it.
I'm
Finally
not
went
sure.
through.
I'm going to see if I can find the helicopter view.
Thank you for
here in a
trying all
second.
those times. I appreciate it.
40 clear.
What's up, Morris? They'll start at 10 o'clock shutting things down. So 35 minutes or so.
F.
What's up, Stormwood? And welcome to the live.
Choppy the Chopper, yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex, for the $10 donation. I appreciate you. The best part about these
am I running
morons
OBS? No, I'm
protesting
just
in
using
cities
StreamYard.
is they are protesting where legislature.
I'm a little bit of an idiot when it
which
comes
I'm
to
sure
this
I didn't
stuff.
say
And
that
OBS kind of
correctly,
kicked my ass
has
before
been
when I
and
tried
will
it.
continue to keep abortion
This part right now,
prevalent
Gabby,
and
is
legal
in
as possible.
LA.
You're not the
So
first
we'll
to say
see if that
today.
upgrades to
I think
somewhere
we're all
else
on the
coming
same
up.
page here. We're all
Sounds
just
like there's
walking the
stuff
same
going
movie,
on
but we
in a
know
couple
what's
different
going on.
towns. So we'll see. Gun rights are constitutional. Yes, they are. Mute the sound. Okay. We'll mute the sound. Yeah, there. Sound is muted. DC appears to be pretty wild right now. Haven't had a chance to see it yet. Ooh, that's interesting. In Phoenix, it sounds like it got real spicy. No, she was not married, but she was just been engaged and been, a super serious relationship. But yeah, she's getting married officially. Officially today, she got married. Maybe he's at a baby shower. And, the law pope keeps his movement secret to hide from his enemies and from Amber Heard. So we're not sure. Oh, he's for degenerates at Men's Discord? Okay, cool. Well, that's fun, too. I know you mentioned that. Nick's at a baby shower. Okay, well, those can be fun sometimes, I guess. There's a lot of drinking involved. Nick is showering with babies? Yeah, I don't know. I mean... Yeah, that's my concern. Mr. Ricada, I think you need to explain yourself. And I hope, Law Nerd, I hope you clip this. Mr. Ricada, are you showering with babies? Are you showering yourself in babies? Like, you're just dumping them over your head? Or are you showering with babies? The people need to know. I mean, we demand to know. We have a right to know. Are you really, at the end of the day, the secret boss map? Is that really the twist? Is that the anime betrayal that we've been waiting for? You owe us an explanation. He's in Kentucky. Oh, good for him. Now that's it. He's not too far away from me then. Yeah, I remember when Kenosha was just a protest. Yeah, that's an issue. Chaucer, yeah, you're right about that issue behind the underlying part of Roe. Let's see, I'm going to try to skip through some stuff. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to catch up, guys. Yeah, that's not just a Chinese curse. Yes, but it is a curse to tell somebody, may you live in interesting times. Because interesting times traditionally have been not fun and kind of dangerous. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Portland Andy. I might give him a shot. See what he's up to in a second. Yeah, he doesn't want Eve and Amber coming after him. Nick's getting his nose stretched. You know, Law Nerd, I just want to make sure you clip that. I just want to make sure you clip that part. You know, I have my concerns about that with Nick. You know, was he showering with babies or getting showered in babies? You know, we have a right to know. So, yeah, that was actually, Leonidas actually told that to Ephialtes, and supposedly told him, "May you live forever." Um, is anybody doing a DC stream right now? I'm not sure. I figured this guy might be bouncing around, but also, Law Nerd, I was gonna say this. I don't know if I have to tell you this, but if you ever see anything cringe or stupid or funny on anything I do, you're always more than welcome to clip it out and do whatever. I will never, don't care. So that's all I was just gonna say. Okay, so some people are getting arrested. Not sure what for, other than just being in the street and not dispersing, which kind of a chicken shit thing. Really. D Street Media, this guy just went live. All right, we'll see what he's all about. Yeah, this may just turn into a riot stream, guys, which I'm kind of fine with because there really hasn't been a good one of those for a while. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, D Street Live, he's on like the other side of the riot or the other side of the arrest. So yeah, Portland Andy, Rebel News. Oh, I might do Rebel News then. Just gonna catch up real quick. Mention Lucas Gerhard. Nick says it's important. Yeah, Lucas Gerhard, that trial coming up. That'll be very interesting. It sucks. I've got a trial of my own that I'm gonna be doing that week, unless my guy runs away. Which I don't know if he will or not. I'm assuming he won't. We're gonna take it. We might, and I think we can win it. So I probably won't actually be able to do anything with that. I just have to watch Nick's recaps of it. But yeah, I hope Lucas Gerhard wins. I think what he's gone through is a bunch of bullshit. And I said that last night too. If you hit a blue-haired land whale with the truck, I'll call you. Yeah, with Johnny. I'm not in Oregon, but I'll do what I can to help you if you get in touch with me. So Johnny GTO for $4.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, I was just saying, like, there hasn't been an interesting riot stream in a while. Nothing really good lately. I'm not saying that, it's fun watching it go on because, I can watch it from home. It's not like I have to go there and do it. Yeah, they were told to disperse, but it's like, yeah, I mean, there's like 50 or 60 people. Is it really? Yeah. Yeah, if you attack a cop, yeah, you're going to get arrested. I think they all understand that. No assault on officers is definitely happening. Okay. Let's see here. Good luck, Sean. I hope you win it, maybe. Hey, I think we'll be fine. It's a drug possession case. It's not the end of the world. It's for a couple of grams of meth. So, not that big a deal. In the grand scheme of things. For my client, it's a big deal, and I think, we have a good chance. Oh yeah, yes, I'm assuming a lot of these guys are there. Yes, I'm a real activist. I care. Can we hang out? Uh, can free speech be, when Rittenhouse was self-defense? I think that's a fair analogy from what I've read about for Lucas. Yeah, this is a big case. This is going to set a lot of standards going forward. Can a super chat be used as a retainer? I think maybe you could get away with that at some point, but remember, YouTube's also taking 30% off the top, so that gets to be a little sketchy because now you've paid somebody else with retainer money, unless you're trying to argue that 30% you account for it in a way you pay, that attorney more money. That gets to be a mess. I know you're probably joking and being cheeky, but I thought that was actually something to think about for a second. Chicago Res, the Hannah Gutierrez police interview came out today for the Rust film shooting, and she was brutally honest. Oh, I bet she was. I bet she was brutally honest, and she was probably brutally stupid. I think at the end of the day, she might end up with some criminal liability. I don't think it'll be severe, but Alec Baldwin, I said this earlier, once everything got released, he's out of it. Nothing's going to happen to him. But yeah, it was her fault. Her fault as much as Baldwin's fault. So, I'm unconvinced protests actually change anything. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, but yeah, for the most part, you've had a busy day live streaming. Yeah, earlier I was on with Hayden Gleister from Law Patrol. I was hanging out with him for a bit. So yeah, drug laws are gay. Pretty gay. Retain these nuts. I mean, are you going to retain these nuts in your mouth? If you are, I appreciate that. I'll keep them warm. So Alec murdered that woman. Yeah, I mean, yes, he did. I think he committed manslaughter at the end of the day. Do I think he would ever be charged? No. Should he? I'm still torn on that because it is that the most judicious use of resources? Is that really going to enhance justice? I don't think so. Do I think he, did commit a crime? Yes. I like abortions and caramel macchiatos. Please sleep with me, fellow protesters. So let's see here. No, I don't think that's going to happen. It'll be, yeah. Never talk to the police. Always good advice. Always timely advice. Never talk to the police. You will never help yourself. You better have a lawyer's number memorized if you get arrested. They don't carry phone books. If you're in a situation like this in a protest where you're going somewhere where you might get arrested, actually write the phone number on your arms. Write it on the inside of your arm. Write it on your chest. Write it so if you look down, you can read your chest and read the phone number on there. That's a traditional protester way of keeping track of a phone number. And write it in big numbers in a Sharpie. That way you've always got it and it can't lose it. That's a very safe way of doing it. That's an old school protester tactic. Yeah, I mean, you'd always probably have the right through fair use, but, it's cool. I stand behind Alec. Yes, I fully support him as long as I'm out of the way. Yes, have I read U.S. v. Miller? I have. Miller had a lot of problems. I love the fact that it's a bunch of Supreme Court judges arguing over what's for military and militia use, when none of them ever served in the military or saw combat. One of the judges, I forget which one, justices, served as a JAG officer during World War I, but he would have been in the rear. It's not like he was leading trench raids. So, yes, this idea that, a sawed-off shotgun was not a proper weapon, it's like, yes, compared to a howitzer, it's not, but it still has its use. Yes, Miller, once again, it didn't help that nobody showed up for Miller. That was kind of the big problem. Didn't help Miller was dead. And Miller, nobody gave a shit. So, yes, Miller thankfully doesn't have too much precedence right now, and I hope it, stays that way. Well, I mean, one, I would say a life was taken, yes, but there are multiple times where people are hunting and they shoot their buddy or somebody else, and there are no charges filed. Sometimes there is so much stupidity, and it's a tragic accident fueled by complete stupidity. But that happens. Not every time is everybody charged, but yes, in a situation like this, I would expect if I was in that position, like if I was doing theater or something like that, I would probably expect to be charged. Elaine's at the protest handing out Amica cream for anybody who gets hit. Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate the business. Yeah, they have NLG people marching with them. They do. But even then, you always, if you know you're going into a potential of getting arrested, having that number somewhere you can access it is always a smart idea. Before I go to the bar to drink, I always write down Sean's numbers. Aw. Is that so you can drunk dial me later? You want a booty call or what? A jag off in the rear. Abolish the NFA. Always true, and I hope they go away. I hope it goes away along with the ATF. Yeah, wouldn't be a bad start. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, that's why you're right with M2. Yes, and that's the problem with Miller. But once again, there was nobody there for Miller. Nobody really was making an argument. And yes, this was, the idea of judges. I mean, I said this last night when I was on with Nick and Robert Barnes. Brett Kavanaugh is not some dude who's going to hang out and like, hey, man, let's go shoot an Uzi. I mean, his idea of the Second Amendment is probably shooting clay pigeons or keeping a AR-15 in your safe. The idea that he would take a Uzi and go to the range and see if he could burn the barrel out of it by shooting, 3,000 rounds through it in a day is not something Brett Kavanaugh is going to do. So even the judges back then, they're super, they are conservative in the sense of granting people to go do crazy things. And for them, we can't let the plebs run around with machine guns. Especially for them, I think they probably also had in their minds, 30 years of labor issues. I mean, the Pullman strike, all kinds of stuff had gone on in all their lives. And throughout the 20s and 30s, the biggest purchaser of military equipment were corporations, either to strike break or deal with, violence that breaks out against them from unions and syndicalists and all the other things that were going on. So quite a bit was going on in the 20s and 30s. You also had the Red Scare. That shaped a lot of British firearm law. They were worried about a possible, socialist or Bolshevik-led popular uprising in Britain. So the way they tried to clamp down on that was by curtailing firearms. Oh, somebody's like starting to fight. I don't know what they're fighting about. Let's get some sound going.
You know, a different country, but if you see Antifa,
but that's something to think
Europe
about
and stuff like that, they're actually kind of fighting against authority.
So it could be. It could be.
And they're fighting against people
But
they
there
would
was,
believe is going to actually.
you know, and
take
all
the
those are
rights
not
away.
valid
But like
reasons.
Antifa here is
They
a
would
bunch of
use those as
college
valid
kids who
excuses. I think
smoke
they're
meth on the
bullshit.
weekends,
And the whole
they get
opinion was
mad over
bullshit,
every
but
thing. They don't make any sense. They
you know,
love
the odds of me getting on the
communism,
Supreme
but
Court,
they fight
well,
against Marxism at the same time.
we'll see. Maybe
it's really
President
messy.
Rand Paul ever takes the bench.
The
Or
Antifa group
President
and
Rand
stuff
Paul
like
ever
that
takes
you see
over.
here, it's not the same when
We'll
it's
see.
overseas for some reason. It's the entitlement here.
Okay, yeah, that's people aren't really talking. I'm not going to listen. I'll let you guys make that choice if you want to listen a little bit. Actually, if you want to listen, you pull them up on your own. That way, it's not fighting with it. Looks like shit is going off at Wrestling Town. Do you have a link to that? Because I would like to see it. I'm not muted, guys. Don't go hunting with Dick Cheney. That's always good advice. You wish you got my drunk text. Oh, I bet. I bet. If you guys have these, let me know what YouTube channels have this up, because I would love to pull it up and watch it. Law and Order clips. Yeah, we'll bring it up. Let's see if she.
The only difference is I brought a mic. You didn't. That's the only difference. Okay, no, but you've been saying it. And first of all, you actually were speaking to my friend earlier. You did get to speak, but again, but again, yeah, I can speak how long as I want. Just like you. Okay, so go and speak. You don't have to speak here. No, you just say you don't.
You're cutting him off.
You're contradicting. See, your anger is not letting you think straight.
Take a look. Well, I'd like to own a nuke too.
Well, you're a woman. I said.
She's so far off her rocker.
You're putting words in my mouth. You see, when you're angry, you're not able to think.
Thank you so much, Lone Wolf, for the $5 donation. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You calm down. Okay. It's my mic. I can actually contradict myself if I want to. Okay, so you have your opinion. You said I'm a bigot. I'm self-contradictory. So okay, you said it. Everybody heard you say it. So
thanks for letting me know. Look who's prepping now. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I don't see anything for Phoenix yet, guys. I'm still looking.
I like this. It's about to get real.
BG on the scene. Oh yeah, I forgot all the different riots.
No.
Yo,
you said your name is.
Be obedient to your human masters and share and travel in sincerity of heart as to Christ. That's the Bible.
yeah, of course it is.
Wow.
JDW. She said what the problem is. She said, I don't want to hear it. Let me talk.
That's your master.
Exactly. I mean, she's already said.
You don't go against.
He's like, I brought a microphone. You didn't. She's like, yeah, but you've been talking for like 3 hours, and I haven't got to talk
Yeah, guys,
yet.
I don't see Rebel News having
I'm
anything
sorry,
up right
are we
now.
sharing this microphone?
I just did Rebel News Live and then
The thing is, a lot of
BG
people,
Live.
they make a statement and then they run away when you try to answer it.
If you want to,
She doesn't wanna- I know, she was cutting you off, but yet she's claiming love is love, but she's not loving you. It's like a contradiction, yo. Yeah.
What's the name of this live stream?
Christ Forgiveness Ministry. Christ Forgiveness Ministry.
Sassy Pickle, why do all these white lib females sound
Yes.
the same? I think it's the age group. I think they're in the same age group. They've been probably indoctrinated by colleges. And
Good night.
and,
Have a
you know,
nice night.
fresh
Thanks
out
for
of high
stopping
school
by.
Not that long ago. That kind of stuff is going on. So they're in the same generation of being a victim, you know, make every little thing a really big deal and scream really loud so everyone knows that you're right, because everyone knows the loudest person in the room is right, especially if you yell over other people trying.
Bames John for $5. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Times like now are the reason I left the city and moved to the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that has its benefits at times. So thank you again. Tifa has entered the riot. Muckraker Prospecting. Finally found your channel. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm looking around trying to see if there's any of the other streams going on, but it didn't see BG on the Scene or Rebel News have anything up right this second for live. But trying to see Fox 10 out of Phoenix. Looks like it's quiet. We'll just turn the sound back up a little bit. Try Portland Andy, see what he's got.
Well, I mean, my answer's still the same, more or less. Sassy Pickle. The tone of their voice, you know, they're in the same age group. Probably have some of the same habits, too, if you think about it. If they see eye to eye, they may have similar lifestyles. I think that their belief system is leading them on a path to where if their age
I'm
group
glad
is
you're
similar,
sticking
they're
around,
gonna
brother.
scream and shout and squawk in the same tone.
Brother. Hold on. Brother. There we go. Glad you're sticking around, brother. You can clip that one, too.
Yeah, what's good? Yeah, maybe they had some of the new recruits Antifa out.
Thank you, Ian. I appreciate it.
But tomorrow, most likely, will be game day because it'll be the actual weekend. Punk Man, Precious Child, the Antifa live streamer. I haven't
Here
seen
because
him go
Nick
live
isn't
in a long
streaming.
time,
Hey,
but
I'm happy to fill the void.
that doesn't mean he didn't change his name or start another channel, or I'm just not being notified.
Yeah, like I said, they can still do whatever they want in California, but there's still, you know, you are allowed to protest what's going on somewhere else where you live, even if it doesn't affect you. So.
Hey, thank you so much, Tony, for the
Yeah, let's see.
donation. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Portland
much.
Andy's got a bunch of LA streams up, so it's not really any better right this second. So. Yeah, I bet he does. Hey, we all can't be
What's up, Lori?
Chadley. You know, we all strive to be the chaddest of the chads, but sometimes some of us fall short in some areas.
I did. What's good? Let's see. I have a list.
You know, he wishes he had my beard. I wish I had his nose.
$5 donation. I appreciate it. Super chat? Yeah, it is super chat.
Yo, make sure she don't get that up.
Oh, well, now she's yelling. Ooh, that dude in the brown shirt's getting ready to block. Am I short like Attorney Tom? Yeah, I mean, I'm not tall. I'm like 5'7", so I don't really... I don't know how tall Attorney Tom is. I know Nick's tall. He's taller than shit. I'm short compared to him.
I'm sure it's on the list. My eyes are kind of starting to get burned out.
For the Joe K for $5 for the Bud Light Fund. You were on fire the other day on Joe's stream. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I might crack open a couple or two right now. I'm not really not really feeling this tonight. So, yeah, I think we'll open up some road pops. Be right back in 1 second.
One person counter protest.
No, Nick takes nasal steroids. That's not true. I heard Nick uses plugs in his nose, and he plugs his nose and widens it out that way. That's how it got so big. That's what I heard. Allegedly. So, be right back, you guys.
Everybody else can see. That's my prayer, my hope. And that's the reason why we come.
Yeah, Lori, that's kind of been a talking point all day. I think all the places that are protesting today are all places where you can actually still get an abortion. So they're just all mad for no reason.
Well, goddamn world. Exactly. Do you believe in God? Is this a question, yes or no? It's not a question that deserves an answer. It's not. I don't know what to do myself. I need to address myself to you. So
Nobody's.
Well, then why are you here in front of me talking to me if you don't care?
He wasn't screaming though.
Yeah, we're back.
I got muted for a second. They got music or something playing in the background. I'll be lucky if I don't get a copyright flag with as much as I already played.
You know, Bames, the SSRIs are actually an issue in my opinion, so I think that's a real thing. You know, a lot of these I have a concern about that.
Give me a second. I think we're gonna go back to LA.
On 5-7 on can't have Mallet's in my feed. Oh, you're missing out, buddy. You're missing out.
Roger, go.
Yes, Tiny Tim is 4'11".
Roger that.
Oh no, I admit I have hairy hobbit feet. I've had people tell me that before. I have a lot of hobbit feet. Jesus, no one's banging her anyway. Yeah, probably. Oh, I thought you were making a joke. He took steroids to make his nose bigger.
Low County Observer in the house, guys. Representing for the people.
Pope Brackets touched me. First live unsubbed, I guess your chat's funny in a weird way. People know personal responsibility is a good start, right? By the way, it's birthing person, bigot. Lol. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. It is birthing person, so I am very sorry. I appreciate you correcting me on that, and I shall try to do better in the future for Zers and Zimselves. So thank you for the super chat. Yeah, SSRIs are no joke. That's why somebody mentioned it. I'm like, that's actually a serious issue. A lot of people doing crazy shit lately have had SSRIs involved in their lives.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they've rounded up a little.
Showing that chat added a foot to your height in my book. I'm glad I earned your respect.
I guess so.
Thanks for letting me know hydrodynamic.
Moms Incorporated. Yes, the government would probably crack down on them, especially the government in the condition it's in right now. Yes. Probably. Something's going down, yeah. That girl, the ginger, yeah. Yep. Yes, SRIs are no joke.
Predictable, Tony. Nate, no, I haven't come across anything for Arizona yet.
Sick. There's Butler again, guys.
Would it be helpful for a state legislator to pass a resolution calling out Miller as a show trial? No. I mean, a resolution. Resolutions, no. Pass things. The resolution really wouldn't do a whole lot. I mean, it make you feel good, but no, I don't think so. Now, if Congress passed that, okay, that would be a little different.
That's why they backed off. Because they started, like, you know, circling around and they push people in a certain direction.
That was a crazy move, man. They had a line right here and then they broke in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Spread out. They got that whole thing, too. Strategic and shit.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's because he's super racist. Yes, Joe Biden is not a friend of African American people, no matter what he says. So,
whoa. Oh, but that's alcohol.
let's see here.
Water here. I won't buy you alcohol. I'll buy you water, though.
I don't have water. I'll buy you soda, dude.
How about your soda? Here.
Hey, you look good. Look, check this out. Down the street, I love Coke Zero.
Looking for lives. Let's see here, this guy. Yeah, still haven't found anything good for.
Did you? No. No fires yet.
So, if you guys find anything good, let me know. Still, stream-wise. Would tip you off the 94 crime bill? Just going back, he has not been a fan. But yes, fair enough.
Point of view to another extreme point of view. I totally agree. I think for the last couple of years, people have been in a mindset where if you don't agree with them, then you automatically
Shabba-dabba-da, pressure care. Yes.
Kind of like the guy earlier.
And breaded as fuck. Well, hopefully you're talking about me.
I'm never gonna have an abortion. It's not for me to debate. It's for me to just put on the screen for all of us to be aware of what's happening. The guy blew a gasket earlier in the live chat because I wouldn't.
You know, I mean, yeah, he can be he can lead his little chicken militia as Tim hides up in the mountains. I don't think he was wanting it as much as just making sure people were ready and understood what was coming and what's going to happen. I really think that's what he meant at the end of the day. It's just, you know, that beanie gets a little tight on his circulation and, you know, doesn't help him out as much as you'd think. What's going to happen in Cali after this? People are going to start challenging the mag bans and the assault weapons bans because there's no historical precedence for assault weapons or feature bans. So that'll probably get shot down, but you're going to have to take it all the way. And I assume the state of California is going to tell people, you know, and tell the federal government and the Supreme Court, you know, Lamau don't care. So we'll see.
Thanks for being here. If you send me an email, I'll send you the P.O. Box number.
Yeah, he lives in Wilmington, but his vacation house is in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but that is a swanky place. I've gone on vacation near Rehoboth Beach, and holy cow, it is a nice place. Yeah, this summer, it's quiet right now, and I'm surprised. I think it might get a little more sporty. We get to like August, September time frame. Warning and wanting are different things, yeah. Dim pool. Okay, I like that. That's a good one.
Make sure I'm going the right way.
Yes, that doesn't help, you know, being, with Robert Byrd.
I agree. Dude from Belgium, it's called totalitarianism.
Yeah.
Talad. I can't say,
Yep.
but yeah, we're getting there.
Yep. Hey, nothing wrong with the rooftop Koreans. They took care of business.
Going the right way.
Moldy Cheeto, Jeff Mack, you're white. You're automatically.
See, that's your. That's where you're wrong. He's always funding stuff.
We were covering.
You know,
I think it was
George, the collaborating Hungarian. He's always afoot. Don't think he stops. As long as he's alive, he's plotting.
Nothing. Never said anything bad about anybody unless they're burning
So,
flags.
174 people, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Please like it. Please give me a like. If it's your first time here, give me a subscribe. We normally talk about legal stuff. We were going to talk about SCOTUS and what happened. I'm happy to answer those questions too. Or if you just have, some legal questions and criminal defense wise, I'd be happy to try to answer them. But this kind of turned into hopefully a potential riot stream. So let's see what happens. Getting kind of weak though. I'm a little disappointed.
I don't even know what that is.
Worst riot ever, really at this point.
I'll check it out, Lone Wolf.
Is this sped up? No, you need to catch up to us. The crazy white chick is the ginger girl is gone. I don't know, Crane. This is kind of like one of the big things. This is a pretty big deal. So I think they're going to remember this one for a while.
Video of inside the building and people beating on the glass doors. Wow.
Yes, he worked with the Nazis and was a collaborator. Now, his argument was, oh, I was a kid, I had to do what I had to do. Well, he still collaborated. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god, I have a member? Fuck. I have not had one of those, I don't think. William Foley, thank you for your membership. I appreciate it. So, yeah, thank you so much.
B&M couple. People in America are starting to seem like...
Yes, this riot is not actually planned, so the police are suppressing it. Sure, sure. Mike L, I think, is right, though. This is the first night. I mean, tomorrow night's Saturday night, so everybody got a day to get ready, and it's been a pretty nice day weather-wise in a lot of the country. So, but yes, William Foley, again, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yes, guns cause mass murder and spoons cause obesity. Oh, yeah, I definitely would make... Yeah, I should go sue the spoon companies on my own behalf, huh?
But not everybody gets like that, because not everybody cares about what the news says. So there's a lot of people out there that...
Okay, Josh, I'm not going to talk about the card catalog system. Yes, I've heard that as well.
This is where I started earlier.
Yeah, nothing's changing in California, but, you still have the right to protest and say, if something happens in, like George Floyd, that happens and you're upset about it, you don't have to go to Minnesota. You can protest out your front door. If something happens in Rhode Island and you live in Tennessee, you have the right to protest about it. Ban of stalled spoons. Yeah, that would have helped me a lot. Paycheck. Skip your son's food. Hey, that's dedication. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for being here, Lou.
Hey, G. Hold on here. I'm gonna put it in.
I had to mute it for a second because music playing. Variable thoughts. What? They're gonna take a scenic walk now. That's how it goes in LA. It gets crazy. The police show up, and it seems like stuff's gonna
So,
happen.
G, I just put my email that I use for YouTube here
It's the way things
in the comments. Take a look at it. Shoot me an email. We can talk. And if you're in my area, certainly that's possible. If not, I can help you figure something out to help you figure something out on that end. So yeah. it all depends. I mean, some days I have a ton of stuff to do. Some days I'm at my office. It's day to day is always different. That's kind of how things are for me, I would say. So yeah, just
Who asked for that?
damn, where did that go? Yeah, just shoot me an email and we can talk.
Lou. Oh yeah. I still have all the Portland stuff. I don't think any of that stuff got taken down.
Oh, I think this will get a lot of people motivated for the polls one way or another.
Have Trump in it. Or maybe they said something about the plague or the jab or something. That's about it though. Almost everything from Portland is still up. Cranch.
Yeah, I wasn't invited either.
AKA Cranch. I seen that the other day. They got like.
Yeah, that's going to be my argument as well.
Kinds of ketchup now. I didn't know that. Walking through Walmart, it's like a whole aisle is just a variety of ketchup. Like, I don't know who asked for all that stuff. I'll check it out. Hydrodynamic. Thank you. Zooks. The Portland was live earlier, but they weren't demonstrating and stuff like everywhere else. After it got dark, before they were marching and they were occupying a park or something. I didn't see Antifa. I didn't see any
Feels so good in here.
graffiti or any kind of aggressive behavior or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you love black people?
I haven't drank soda in 2 weeks. I need one.
Yes.
JDW, I wish there was a way I could get like public television signals or whatever, so you could just watch on regular TV.
Well,
I think the next best thing is doing. I don't know if a Fire Stick can do it, but I'm pretty sure if you have Roku, you can watch Rumble, YouTube.
Oh, if gas prices are through the roof still, I mean, and that's it all depends what's available, what's going on. I think people are right that gas is not going to get any cheaper anytime soon. If gas is still at $5 a gallon on average, by the next 4 months, that's going to hurt a lot of fucking people. And if it gets, God forbid, it gets to where people think it might get to like $10 a gallon or whatever.
I was already at Target for them earlier.
I mean, geez, I'll start running around with a hose and a pack of gum to avoid paying for gas. Yeah, that will eventually take over, and I think, that's. Yeah, at the end of the day, you can have all the political opinions you want, but if you can't eat, that's always the important thing.
A lot of it is filler. I almost feel like they're doing that to downplay the supply chain.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I have all the, I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in all the other constitutional rights that exist. But, if I don't have food or I don't have electricity or running water, yeah, I'm going to be more concerned about that after a while.
Gas with ethanol or whatever. Gas don't even smell like gas anymore. It's barely.
Yeah, gas, it's going to take a while, just for the way things work.
It's all been cut down. And I feel like the food is the same way.
No, they won't. Most people don't, but that's the nature of people in general.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Mike.
The other way.
Yes, I am Legend. Yeah, the gas prices were lower than what they are right now.
Ian Beaver, Andy Noel has Arizona.
Oh, exactly, and they will, and they'll keep using them as fundraisers. It's 5:29 for where I'm at. Oh, what is it right now where I'm at? I'll just check.
At first I thought he was grinding his gears or something. I was like, wow, all that time with the convoy and you're grinding
What's
your gears
Gas Buddy
that?
say?
Alright, it's in here talking my face off. Let me see what else is going on.
Okay. Oh, actually, it's not too bad here right now. It's about.
Winding down. The NYC video is gone. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if they deleted it or what, but it is gone.
Yeah, it's about 450 here. About 450, 460, roughly, with some above that and below it. So.
Actually, all these live feeds I have up are people
5 minutes ago.
walking
Going up. This other way up here.
Yeah, if you want to know what's up, check out some of Payday Monsanto's recent videos. Yeah, well, there's a lot of money involved in Monsanto. I think actually one of the justices worked for Monsanto for a while. Forget which one. Yeah, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance out there tonight. AD for $2. Guess the DNC called the mob back. Yeah, I don't think tonight was the major focus of it. Tomorrow night will probably be this spicier day.
Swan, I don't know if you're talking to me, but you're not blocked.
No, the movie was called I Am Legend. The book's called I Am Legend as well. The book is actually a lot cooler, the way the story works out.
Every time I come to LA and do some coverage, they talk way too fast. So we think Bakersfield talks fast. Our dispatch in Bakersfield.
James, scared people riot / panic buy.
Sounds like $7 near you? Holy shit.
I don't think
Do you live in California? Oof. Sounds awful.
I'm telling you, if the prices get higher and the food quality goes down at all, we ain't too far from it.
Oh, Payday Monsanto is a YouTuber. If you want it, Crazy's got it. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, definitely look at that. Yes, I Am Legend is a reboot of the Omega Man, and the Omega Man is a adaptation of the book I Am Legend.
But I have a feeling that tomorrow may be even more live.
Yes, he's still the beta. Yes, he got cucked by mannequins.
Other people had to work. They didn't know that Roe vs. Wade was going to be.
Yeah, the Vincent Price version's pretty good.
Tomorrow being the weekend. Plus
yeah, that was not fun when the doggo had a rough time. The North Coast and Humboldt. Oh, okay, yeah, jeez. Yeah, that's I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I work hard out
You
here.
get a hose and a pack of gum.
Distracted. They were protesting in GR. Interesting. I didn't get any notification. Well, I guess maybe I did. I might have been live when that happened. I get stuck. I don't want to ignore my phone, but so much happens while I'm live that I get to the point where I can't open the apps because I got 30 messages, and if I open it, then I'll be tempted to read
Let's
them
see
all.
here. What else is good? Somebody
I won't be
asking.
notified anymore.
Soylent Green was a good one.
I won't
Yes.
read them at all.
Where they toss it.
I don't know. I'm not seeing notifications for Grand Rapids. I'll have to check that out. That's really interesting.
Yeah, but I mean that people having a loss of respect for the court and faith in institutions, that's been kind of a general trend, and I think on both sides there's been massive distrust in government, and I think the government's earned that. So, yeah, these things just highlight it, but I think that these aren't the catalyst. It's just identification points where you can really, really see it. But it was already happening. So.
What's up, Eric? We were covering marching, protesting, screaming, crying, yelling.
I'm honestly surprised that either pregnancy resource centers or some churches somewhere in this country have not been vandalized tonight. You know, doing a Sunday morning service, a lot of churches, people carry guns now, and I just, that seems like a dangerous idea. You know, attacking the buildings while nobody's there is probably the smarter idea.
It seems like all the lives I've pulled
So,
up is kind of what we're watching right now, people just winding down and stuff.
yeah, a hose and a pack of gum. Hawkeye is referring to siphoning gas. You know, obviously you siphon the gas with the hose, and then if you siphon it right, you're probably going to end up with a mouthful of gas. So, gum takes care of the gas taste.
Hydrodynamic.
Oh, I know in the meantime that has happened, Jacob, but I expected a significant scale
I
tonight.
think I was shadow banned. There was like 3,000 people in the chat when things were really
So,
going off.
Here, let me call.
Kelly, yeah, Portland, they were only out until sunset, and then they wrapped it up. They'll probably be out again.
yeah, this is really weak tonight. I am disappointed in people. Yeah, this is okay. This is one I wanted to see earlier. Didn't have a chance to start it. Even in California, New York, how's abortion going to be popular there when 30 states are calling it murder? People that live there are greeted by, I heard murder is legal where you live when they travel. Yeah, but the people who would end up hearing that and encountering it would say, oh my gosh, those people are a bunch of, hillbillies and buck-toothed rubes anyway, so it's probably not going to change too much. Because the demographics and the people in charge in California and New York are still going to be in charge. So I don't think it'll change too much.
What's up, only Mr. Bill? I'm doing pretty good. Today was not too bad. Went and got some pretty decent food earlier. How's your day been going?
Are these people really that insane? Yes, they are. I think in the past couple of weeks, people were disrupting church services in Catholic churches. So, yeah, they would be. Yes, U-Haul gas tanks are free gas. Just drill a hole in the bottom of it. Don't do that. That is not legal advice. Don't steal gas.
I've been playing that for like 10 years or something like that. That's my jam.
Presented without my endorsement.
I don't even know how long it's been now. I don't play a lot of video games though. I spend a lot of time working on. If I'm not live, I'm working on stuff for the live usually.
No, you didn't miss anything, and it looks like
sometimes 12.
Let's see what.
What's up, Jersey Devil? Welcome to the live.
Let's see if Andy's got anything. I'll go back to him and check. Oh, Portland Andy stopped his stream, so yeah, I think we're done. Sounds like that's it for the night.
I don't get the
This is weak. It's not even it's not even midnight out in LA, and they already stopped on a Friday night. This is just beta. This is just bad.
All that stuff.
It's not stealing, it's community gas.
I appreciate you being here, Adriana. You have a good
Drilling a hole in a metal tank is not really. A gas tank isn't that thick to start with. Just gotta poke a hole. I mean, it's not that hard or dangerous. It's free cats as well. Yeah, free government supplied cats. Yeah, get your money back.
It's the camera guy. Goes Fallout 3 is dope. Fallout 3 is considered one of the best.
Worst riot ever.
Fallout 3 in New Vegas. A lot of people say those are the best Fallout games, and that New Vegas.
I saw it was actually it was a Reddit post where somebody said take the fight to small towns.
It's the better
Ooh, child.
Oh. But then 76 screwed everything up.
Ooh, child, that'd be a bad idea. Be a great opportunity to never be fucking seen again. I mean, you go to small enough. You go like where I grew up. Yeah, you might make it out, but you'll probably get your ass beat. There's a lot of towns though, small towns. Ooh, you might not be walking out of there. So.
You're flashing at me for?
Nah, Ghost. I don't have those.
Yeah, a lot of modern gas tanks are plastic.
No, I haven't played those games.
Are you gonna be stopping or streaming longer? I mean, probably people are willing to stick around and guys are willing to post. Yeah.
I agree.
I'll probably be around for a while still. Professional writers are on vacation.
I am really surprised at that.
Sounds like it.
I'm surprised to hear that. Thank you for letting me know.
Sounds like it.
I'm trying to drive.
All right, hooligans. I think we're gonna wrap this up. There isn't really anything going on. We're just watching First Responder Media drive around, and all the other feeds are same thing. Nothing going on. No more protests.
Fully help your Huckleberry.
By themselves or driving by themselves.
Yeah, this was low energy. Small town Texas. A lot of small towns will disappear you. So that would be a bad idea.
All right, hooligans. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's always a good time hanging out with the hooligans. Maybe we'll actually have a beer tomorrow or something. I just, I got a bad stomach, so I can't push it. It's not bad enough I'm already getting old.
Let's see here.
Bad stomach on top of it. Either way, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. For
you live in the part of California where people can disappear too.
There's
so.
Nothing going on. Sacramento, L.A., San Diego, I think we're the last ones, and the last I looked at them,
That's a lot of cats. That's a lot of, nowadays that's a lot of money.
stuff pop
too.
up. But it's already 1:30 here Eastern time, so I doubt that's going to happen. Most likely I would be seeing
Yeah, I think that
some
was probably
protesting
the best
people
way to go
partying.
about it too. I mean, that makes the
There's
most
some
sense.
batshit loonery going on across the
He's got a nose ring, but hey,
Either way, I hope
he had a
you
stream
guys
up
there.
we
Big
could
shout out to
watch, so
everyone
I'm not gonna
donations. During the
bag
merch
on the
if
man
you're gonna
too
purchase
much.
any merch.
But I think we're done for now. You guys just watch me and look at my face. There's a Kyle Rittenhouse in every neighborhood at the end of the day, believe it or not. It just takes the right thing to happen. Well, yeah, except we didn't really take power. The Supreme Court gave power back, which is pretty rare. So, I get uglier every time I see you. Well, keep refreshing. Let's see how ugly I get. Yeah, almost to 10K. Yep. Yeah, it's I'm surprised when I started this back in November that I would get this far. So, I'm still surprised I got past 100. Yes, I've read that dissent. Pope Rackets touched me for $2. Thank you. Read the Ninth Circuit judge's dissent of his own opinion. Yes, I've read that one. I thought it was well put together. Yeah, it was very funny when he knew that was going to happen, so he did that. Yeah. No, I think that was 100% on point. Thanks. Oh. Liked you when you were on Ricada's show for the first time. Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh. Well, let's see if there's more. There's got to be some stream somewhere. Can't believe everybody's just done for now. Let's see here. Oh, somebody's asking a question about an R. Kelly supporter. No, I'm not an R. Kelly supporter. When I did a video on him a couple years ago, it was before his case ever happened, so he's innocent until proven guilty. So yeah, if that's in response to the Reddit thing, yeah, fuck that guy, whoever put it together. He can suck a bucket of dicks. And that's a lot of dicks. What's a 10K celebration? I'm not gonna have a 10K. I'll do a little celebration, but the real celebration is 15. The real celebration will be at 15, and I've already made the promise. That's when I'm going to talk about the time I worked with I defended a guy who sucked on women's toes, and I got on the news. I made the news because of that guy. So we'll talk about that, but that's for 15K. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do for 10. I don't think that's the case. I just think there's nothing good going on. Haven't seen anybody over the age of 17 pound bet bucket lights like you do. I'm a man of the people. What can I say? Also, this was cheaper than Budweiser when I was going through the drive-thru. So this is instead of Budweiser. Yes. Yes, he did. Yeah, I think people were just kind of getting back into the swing of things. Yeah, well, once again, the Supreme Court's made it easy that, here are the rules, follow the rules. So, yes, am I an attorney? Yes, I am an attorney. I do criminal defense work, mainly. I do all kinds of other stuff as well, though. I work out of the Cleveland, Ohio area, primarily on the eastern side of Cleveland and the eastern counties all the way over to Pennsylvania. So, yes, I are an attorney. No, no, I have not, but if it's online, we might watch that and see how cringe it is. Yes, what's that you say, 24-hour live stream? Yeah, not yet. There might be a 24-hour stream in the future, though. I can't steal Joe's, that's Joe's, that's his, it's, it's wrong to steal Joe's, tactics. They worked well for him. I don't know if they'd work well for me. Is that what the case was about, though? Yeah, the guy would literally walk up to women and start, putting their toes in his mouth, as they're standing there on the street. So yes, he got charged with sexual imposition because he was doing it for a sexual purpose. No joke, it's really what happened. 100% true. No cap. 80 for $10. Just curious, an opinion in the NYC paper said, New York should make all gun owners join a well-regulated militia. I know he's being facetious, but is it illegal to predicate it that way? Yes. I'm sorry, my allergies and everything are fucking me up. Yeah, forcing people to join a governmental organization, exercise your rights, I have a problem with, because at the end of the day, the militia is subject to the governor's authority. And yes, that well-regulated thing is not what that means. Well-regulated means supplied and led and, kitted out. Back in the day, when you were in the militia, you were, it was all home gamers. The militia the town didn't have a stockpile of guns to hand out. You showed up with you brought your tools to work. You brought your rifle, you brought your pack, you brought your powder, you brought your, shot. They might supply some things, but, you showed up basically, it's like going to help your buddy with his deck. You bring your own tools to the game. So that's what well-regulated was, and if you lived in a town and you didn't have a gun, you better be really poor. Because if you were just a normal person in town, I don't want to participate in the militia, people would have a problem with you, because that's the collective defense. That'd be like back in the day saying, I'm not going to help the fire brigade, the bucket brigade, if somebody else's house catches fire. That was a big problem. There was community participation, and if you didn't participate, the community didn't want you around. So, whoever wrote that, they can go fuck themselves. That's not what it was meant to be for. Where's that? Sorry. Damn, where'd that thing go, AD? I wanted to bring it up. Yeah, sorry, here, yeah. Yeah, that's... Sorry, I didn't click on it at that point. So yeah, fuck the guy. Fuck that guy who makes that argument. Yes, paint my face black instead of blue. That might be a better idea. Jeez. Am I licensed only in Ohio? Yes, I'm only licensed in Ohio. I'm not licensed in any other state. How many tries did I until I passed the bar? First time. First time got through. Passed it pretty well also. Wasn't even close. So that's, good start. So women's toes are cute mostly. Jeez. Ew. But yes, I did pass the bar. Passed the February 2014 bar in Ohio. And then I was sworn in May. And admitted in May. Well, I did about 3 weeks ago. I got COVID. Actually, 3.5 weeks ago I got COVID. Tore me up for about 2 weeks. So it's been a little rough still getting back from that. The cough has not gone away. Am I a good attorney? I'd like to think so. But, depends who you ask. I know, I could convert to Judaism, yes. Convert to Judaism, yes. Why do you want to become Jewish? So I can paint my face blue on YouTube. I'm sure that would go well. Have you reviewed Justice Dankula Sweets? No, we can get some of those. Let's go look them up. No, things did not go well for him. So, if you're talking about the toe sucker. Legal Bites got married, although it's more of like, I think she was already married, but they're having their wedding for everybody to actually come and be part of. When I was married, at the time we got married privately and it was a little thing. And then later on we had a big wedding for everybody to come see. So. Oh, the FBI has been involved in militias forever. There's a joke, if you go to a militia meeting and you don't know who the feds are, you're the target. I mean, pretty much everybody, if you're not a fed, everybody else is a fed. No, the state militias are still different from the National Guard. Because if you think about it, it's not about the government being well equipped. You wouldn't have to pass a constitutional amendment saying the government has the right to be well equipped to handle, things. The government has the right to own guns. You wouldn't need that. So the militia is not the National Guard. In fact, in a lot of states, there is actually an official militia organization. In Texas, it's like the Texas State Guard. I think in Florida they have a state guard. In Ohio, it's called like the Ohio Military Reserve. It only works under the state level offices, but there are actual militia units. They're mainly disaster coordinators, though, nowadays. Yes, can you blame them? Can you blame them wanting to kidnap her? Whitmer's a bitch, yeah. Yes, golden rules of militias. You aren't in a militia and you don't know anybody in a militia. Yeah. Yes, you have to go to law school to take the bar in Ohio. You can't do the crap you can do in California or other states where you can study under an attorney and you have to go to law school. You have to graduate. We don't allow that other stuff. Wait, was Ohio the first bar you took, or did you take the bar earlier? No, I've only taken the Ohio bar exam, and I took that one in February 2014. No, I didn't have that issue. My girlfriend had that problem for a little while. But no, for me, everything tastes fine. My taste in food hasn't changed. I know Nick had that problem with fried foods or anything in oil. No, nothing. Surprisingly, nothing. And it's been a while now that I've, had all kinds of stuff. I mean, no, nothing's changed for me. Yeah, leave Fidel's son alone. He sucks enough as is. Legal bites must be rich. She made a lot of money during the trial, but not everybody. You're not getting the same numbers. Again, unless there's like another trial of similar importance. So it's kind of feast and famine. You're not always making $1 million all the time. Kind of like when you watch Deadliest Catch. Those guys don't pull in, big old pots full of crabs every time. There's a lot of downtime in between. They didn't lie during their confirmation. They just said, stare decisis is important. They're not looking to overturn stuff, but that doesn't mean they can't or they won't. So no, I don't think they lied. And people who say they lied, I think that's being a little disingenuous because stare decisis is not a suicide pact. I mean, otherwise, every time a Supreme Court judge, gets nominated, hey, you agree you won't change anything that's on the books right now. That would be insane to make that kind of a demand of somebody. So, no, they didn't lie. But people are saying it that way. They don't get blamed for supporting them. I know Susan Collins says that, but that's her way of saying, look, guys, sorry, I voted for him, but look, he lied to me. He really didn't lie to you. That's bullshit, and you know it. So, D-Dahlia, good night. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Guys, if I was in that situation, like Alita was, yeah, I probably would be losing subs too. If there was some massive trial I covered and a bunch of people showed up, well, once it's over, everybody's going to leave. I mean, that's kind of normal. So I don't think it's anything against her. Now she's, she's also worried about getting married. So I'm sure that took up some of her focus after Johnny and Amber. And then once she comes back, she's probably going to, move on to whatever she has planned. So it's kind of normal. I'd be expecting the same thing if I were in her shoes. You don't talk about militia club, yeah. Ohio does also have a naval militia, yeah, but they only work out of one place. Let's see. Yeah, I don't get the foot thing either, but hey, some guys like feet. So, if you want my feet pics, you can send me some money. It's not for free. Yeah, he said steak didn't smell good for him. Okay, here. Yep, I know. They work out of Camp Perry. It's dumb some states don't require the bar exam, but hey, states' rights. The states should be allowed to govern themselves how they want to govern themselves. If Wisconsin says, hey, look, you graduated law school, good enough for us, the people of Wisconsin have that right to do that. The people of New York and California can say, you can study under an attorney and then take like a year of law school and then take the bar. Everybody has that right. And if you know that's the case, you can also say if you're a person looking for an attorney and shopping around, you can say, hey, Did you graduate 3 years of law school? No? Okay, well, I'm going to move on to somebody else then. So I don't think that's, it's states' rights, man. Either you're about states' rights or you're not. And if that state wants to do dumb shit, that state does dumb shit. Yeah. Yeah, Nick said he gained a lot. Yeah, like I said, it ebbs and flows, guys. It's, feast and famine. It goes up and down, and, you got to work on keeping an engagement with the people you have. The naval, Camp Peary has a big shooting range, and you shoot out over the lake. Once you shoot the target, the bullets go out on the lake. Their job is to keep people out of the impact zones. So, oh yeah, no, and that's fine, Bames. I guess it wasn't just you I was talking to, but just making the point to everybody else. It depends on what state bars. When I took the state bar in Ohio, you had to take a 200-question multiple-choice exam part, which was on some really basic topics like torts, contracts, civil procedure, constitutional law, and criminal law. It's called the multi-state bar exam. It was a bunch of bullshit and a waste of time. The majority of your points, though, in Ohio were on 12 essays. And those essays were on different topics, but they were Ohio law specific. So I think there was some value in it because you couldn't just wing your way through it. You had to know Ohio law to pass the Ohio bar for the longest time. Nowadays, things have changed to when they do the uniform bar exam, which means it works in a bunch of states. I think that's wrong. But you have to have some level of proficiency testing or competency testing. And I think the bar's probably about as good as you can do. Even if you did skills testing, it's not like you could do it open book. I mean, that would be not helpful. So I don't know how else you determine to give people an idea this person's somewhat competent. And I don't just say that as somebody who passed the bar, so therefore everybody else has to pass the bar as well. I just don't know what a better way is out there. The normies got scared by the unbreaded segment. What's the baby bar? The baby bar is something in California you take partway through law school. It's like a precursor to the bar exam that you have to pass. Or if you're doing it the old school way of working with an attorney, it's a way to qualify you to get ready to take the real bar. I think part of it counts towards your score or covers some topics. But that's California specific. All tests are racist. Yeah. Knew a guy who once scored a 9 on his ACT. That's definitely possible. It's a milk part, the baby bar. It's for babies. Yes. You a little baby. Yeah, it looks like everything in LA's kind of died out, guys. I don't see any more protests. And I don't see any more live streams popping up. Everything is kind of done for now. There's another Jussie Smollett interview, though. I'm curious to see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, there is a Jussie Smollett interview. Which one is this one here? All right, I think I don't know if you guys want to watch it, but I'm curious to see what he's going to say. So why is Kim K failing it repeatedly? It's hard. I mean, that stuff is not easy, and it's not for everybody. I mean, she might suck at it, and I mean, she's not stupid. It's just not an easy test. So, quick, yeah, someone go start a riot so we're not bored. Yeah, that's what it looks like I have right now that I found. No, sorry. Why is she taking it? But she wants a law degree. I think she wants to practice law. I mean, you can say this much about her. Yeah, she got her start, getting it good and deep from Ray J on that video. But, the woman has drive and she's dedicated to, becoming skilled and growing her capabilities. So, a law degree allows you to do a lot of things. Now, do I think in her case she'd be better off going to school? Yeah, but that takes full time. And if you're Kim Kardashian, you don't have 3 years just to waste. There really is no purpose to riot. I mean, yes, but if they do riot, then we actually get to watch it. So there is a purpose. No, Jussie Smollett did a short bit of time in the jail and then got released. Yeah, he didn't even serve a week. So, yes, Robert Kardashian was one of OJ's attorneys. Now, he wasn't really involved in the trial. He was kind of like OJ's confidant, but he was made an attorney so they couldn't subpoena him to testify. Because Robert Kardashian was involved with OJ when all the sketchy stuff happened. There's some rumors he handled the knife that OJ used to kill Ron and Nicole with, allegedly. But yeah, there's some rumors Robert Kardashian got his hands dirty in the aftermath. So I guess here, guys, we'll do a quick. We'll do a quick poll. What do you guys want to see, Jussie Smollett or Justice Dankula? I'll do a poll real quick on this. There you go. We'll take a look and see what happens. I'll give everybody a minute to take a look. Chloe's rumored to be OJ's daughter. Yes, I've heard that as well. Because the Kardashians and the Simpsons were like really tight way back. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, you can have 50 different gun laws. You just can't condition concealed carry on obscure justifications. It's just finally stating you don't have to justify your right to exercise it. Yeah, he was released pending appeal, but I think he bullshitted his way out saying he was suffering mental health and his safety was at risk. Yep, he was. So let's see what people are voting. Okay, I'll give it another minute. Real quick, guys, I have to run to the bathroom. Give me 1 second. I will be back. All right. Sorry, guys. We're back. Why don't I just use the Gatorade bottle? Jeez. Okay, it looks like we're going to be covering the Noble Justice Dankula. All right, so we got to find his stuff now. All right. Oh no, it looks like a bunch of people have deleted their tweets. They realize they got fucking trolled. Oh no. This sucks. Where is it? And we can start with the, Come on, I want to find the Biden one. Well, I guess we'll have to watch the video that he got put together. All right. Here we go. Yeah, come on, I gotta be in an archive somewhere. I'm not super... Just, yeah. You got what you get with me, okay? So, we'll just start here. I think this is a good example of what Count Dankula has dealt with. There is some sound, so I put it on. This is the best part. Oh, ooh, wow, this goes way too fast.
It's like finishing this melody, this feel. Do not
So I thought this was great when he started out. And with the check mark, and yeah, he just looks great. He trolled so many fucking people, it was great. I can't believe they thought this was legit. Although I think some people probably, like, somebody with the name 420 probably realized it's, Count Dankula. But yeah, I cannot believe so many people, well, yeah, so many people got trolled. Oh my god, it's beautiful. I like this, we were careful. I don't think you did, though, but we did. Oh, God, I love Dankula. He's great. Just got everybody to fucking spurg out.
just to better me now come to symphonies and take a shot of Hennessy. I know I'm not.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I like this the best, though. Would you say it to a rape victim? Yeah, you leave pretty quickly. No time for chit chat. Yes, if you commit rape, don't hang around. It's not time to cuddle. So, yes, the Bible says you're cringe. Yeah, and this is so ironic because he lives in Britain. But yes, I love how he put this fucking picture up. And people fucking... I mean, just look at that face. That looks like a judge almost. That's hilarious. Yeah, custom peeing song. That requires, like, people doing the songs or having people perform them or pay for the... Yeah. Yeah. That's a level of production I have not reached yet. Night Friend for real this time. When's your next stream? I mean, definitely will be Thursday, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I don't know. I'll take advantage of the power vacuum again. Probably. So, probably tomorrow night. Anyways, have a nice night. I did not know that, but that wouldn't surprise me. They didn't delete Justice Dankula and made them illegal. I'm not going to say Hodor. No, I'm not saying that. Yes, his imam trolling when the fall of Afghanistan happened was just as good. Yeah, you know, I people not knowing, but also you just see a check mark and you see justice and you don't read the rest of it. And look at that picture. I mean, that's his picture, so it looks formal and fancy. I mean, for a Scotsman, he cleaned up decent. You know, probably a lot of Photoshop in there, I bet. Where did Breyer go? Breyer's retiring. That's why Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is taking over. So, yes, the pedophile lover. She takes over at some point when this term is over. So that's why this is some sort of info out of like a graphic out of a magazine or something. But Breyer is retiring, so that's why he's kind of blacked out. So yes, they put a judge in blackface. Yeah, it just goes to show people don't bother reading the headline, yeah. Breyer's grayed out like a character that hasn't been unlocked yet, or he's grayed out as a character that's already been dead and you've lost. So, but yeah, people don't read it. Just it was easy to get that done. Yeah, that's what, like I said, they made him blackface kind of. They wanted to, like I say, next to Roberts. Jesus Christ, guys are ridiculous. Oh. So has the created justice character, yeah. Yeah, you can max out his stats. You just have to put them together. When I saw this earlier, I was surprised. I didn't know Sotomayor was 67 already. God, Obama fucked up putting her on the court. I mean, she was already old to start with. That's, oof. So, I mean, you know, they're not getting their mileage out of her. You know, unlike Thomas or Alito, they're kind of getting their mileage out of them. But yeah, Kavanaugh 57. This is supposed to be Justice Gorsuch. He's 54. Barrett's 50. So yeah, there's going to be some. Yeah, I think people just wanted to fire up and get by there. Oh, Bella. Oh my gosh. Ah. Yeah, nobody wanted to sit next to Sotomayor. Yeah, she probably smells. The wise Latina. As she kind of semi-glossed. Yeah. That's the problem, too. Don't self-gloss, kids. That's not cool. Don't refer to yourself as, like, the wise so-and-so. Make other people do it, because otherwise that's cringe as fuck. How old is the pedo defender? Oh, let's see. Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is 51. Her birthday is in September, so she'll be 52 when she takes the bench. So she'll be pretty young. Dominate David Hogg. Oh, fuck that little piece of shit. He can suck a big old dick. Smells like bad Taco Bell. Yeah. Yeah, no, she actually has diabetes really bad, but she's apparently had that for a long time. So yeah, she's had a lot of problems. I'm too old for Biden. Yeah. Is the Dankula video on YouTube? If so, what's the title? No, I just pulled it off of Twitter. He retweeted the one somebody put together of him. So, yeah, she's not the brightest, but hey, she's there. I'm not. So, joke's on me. David Hogg makes me root for school shooters. Jeez. Yeah. For all the things he does running around reeing and squealing about, the gun lobby, I always want to know this. Who the fuck supports him? How does he get his money? It can't just be all from his Fed daddy, who his dad really is a Fed, so that makes me curious as well. You could go trans. I'll pass on that. I'll pass. I can let Nick do that. He can carry the grift all the way to the top. Jeez. Oh, wow, yeah. Yes, he looks like Adam Lanza on a completely opposite playthrough with the same character. Yeah, they do kind of look the same. That is creepy. Count Dingle has a YouTube channel. Yeah, this video is not up there, but like I said, it's on his Twitter feed. Kavanaugh's a little whiter than her. Kavanaugh's like sheet of paper white. He looks like he's like Polish white. Eric V for $5. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like the beard on Bronca. Like the beard on Bronca, you've grown on me. Glad to have you in my lineup of informative entertainment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really do. Yeah, and that's always going to happen. People are going to try to figure out a way to propel themselves on tragedy. So it doesn't surprise me, not at all. Hopefully they don't try that bullshit again with the fake Chuck Taylors, like Matthew McConaughey tried. So we'll see. It's a good decision by the courts. Murder is murder. Well, they didn't outlaw abortion, so it's just they said states got to handle it. So it's not like they changed that. So, I mean, your opinion, however you feel about it, it's still a thing. Yes, it is. It's an overexposed picture. Somebody messed with it. I mean, their robes are not that light. They're dark. And, judges' robes, like, suck up light. This is probably some dark red in the background. So, yes, he looks like a grated pepper in a bowl of rice. Yes. The police are not coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. Expect to perform self-rescue. No one's coming. It's up to you. It doesn't, but people try to use their tragedy and their victimhood status as a way to make themselves correct in an argument. But yes, being a victim does not make you correct in any way. Yeah, that girl is kind of disappeared. Yeah, after it turns out she admitted to fucking with the kid who ended up killing everybody. But, that stuff happens. And I wonder if David Hogg was involved in any of that, because he's a smarmy little fuck who I bet he did bully kids. Is there a federal law against murder? Yeah. You can be charged with murder under the United States Code, but you have to commit it in a situation where the federal government has jurisdiction. Yeah, there'll be I don't think it'll be as big as you think it is, Mike. Yes, David Hogg, yeah. Got a ride to Harvard just because of who he is, so we'll see. Leftists like to screw. Yes, they do. Little kids, a lot. Something they like. It's as consistent as reading a map, you might say. Yeah, that's the other thing. Hogg was not at the school when that happened. When Parkland happened. He wasn't there that day, and he acted like, there I was in the closet waiting, and he wasn't there that day. Which, makes you suspicious. Well, gee, how did you know not to be there? Just hypothetically speaking. Kyle's not getting into schools because administrators don't want him. It's not the issues of the students hating him. It's leftist administrators not liking him. So, that's always going to be an issue. That's because he's got good PR. Nobody brings it up. His dad was already fed. It's FBI of some sort, pretty sure, or HSI, Department of Homeland Security Investigations. Hogg's dad was already. No, I don't think he was involved in monitoring crews. That would have been other agents, but. Wait, David Hogg graduated school 2 years prior? Or are you talking about Cruz? Because Cruz had graduated already, but if Hogg graduated already, damn, I didn't know that. Yes, Uvalde proves, Valdi, whatever the fuck it's called, proves corruption isn't a big city monopoly. Yeah, there are a lot of little towns that are corrupt. And I think this town is getting aired out on its corruption now. Yeah, the city council's protecting the chief, and the department's buttoned up. Yeah, it's a town that smells like it had a big corruption problem, and sadly these kids paid the price. The Uvalde chief was a supporter of Bob the fake Mexican. Go figure. Yes, I fantasize about a pre-income tax America. I fantasize about a pre-popular election of senators America. That's the fantasy that's the vision of America I have. That should be going back to that. There should not be a direct election of senators. Spook is the glowy. Can't out myself as the Fed. Yeah, you're on to me now. Uvalde. I don't care. It's close enough. Nuclear. I mean, all small towns run on nepotism and incompetence. Pretty much all governments run on nepotism and incompetence, so... Yeah, no, and I think that's true. Great. How were senators chosen before, Debbie? Oh, that's a great question. So, way back, the way it worked was your state legislators, well, actually, it was up to the states kind of to how they picked their senators out. But generally speaking, the state legislators would pick the senator, and they would vote on it, and that person would then become your senator and go represent your state. That's why there were 2 for every state. And that person was meant to be a direct line to the states. They represented the state's interest. Your congressman, your House of Representatives, was the people's representative. But they never intended the Senate to be a popularity contest. And it wasn't until, Warren Harding's time and the progressives got in where we got the income tax and we got the direct election of senators. And then we got women voting. And then we got prohibition. So, a bunch of hits that just kept coming. Yeah. Awesome. So I hope that makes sense to you, Debbie. So that's how it should go back to that. And I think you have it may seem odd, but you still have the right to influence who gets picked as senator because you vote for your state representative. And that state representative would say, I'm going to pick the best person, or I'll pick so-and-so. Then you might say, cool, I'll vote for that guy. So we know exactly where we effed up. Yeah, we fucked up from about 1910 to 1920. You repeal a lot of stuff that happened around that time, we'd be good to go. America would probably have, flying cars by now. We'd be the Jetsons. Yeah, we let you vote and you immediately ban alcohol. Good job. Presented without comment. Jetsons was based. Yeah, Jetsons was pretty cool. Except his boss. Mr. Spacely was a fucking dick. George should have kicked his ass. That guy was like a little midget. He ain't lying, yeah. Like I said, presented without comment. So, guys, it's 2:20 now. I think, another comment or two and we're probably going to wrap up for the night. I got some stuff I got to do in the morning. Some things I had planned I wanted to get done. So that'll probably be it. Tomorrow night I'll probably do this again. And, we'll go from there. Hopefully there'll be some people engaging in extracurricular activities we can watch together. Yeah, George was... Yes, I've seen that too. That's pretty cool. that I'm in the year George Jetson was born. George was a beta? Yeah, he was. He was. Jane had the balls. You know, she tucked them up under her skirt. No unbreaded reading. I don't feel I've been trained in the divinity of unbreaded to actually read it and be trusted to spread the good word of Matthew Hurst to everyone. It takes a special person. Yeah, this is fun. I shall return one time. Probably around the same time, probably around 11 or so. I'll probably do this again. Civil War was only about slavery. I mean, it was about states' rights, but it was the right of the states to own people. You got to work up to that kind of stamina. You know, there was for a while I was belting out, if there were some trials, belting out a couple hour, 8-9 hour days. So, not new. Nick is law pope, but you should shoot for bishop. No, I could agree with that, or I could be the cardinal. Be the cardinal. Be the law cardinal. That would work too. This Pim Tool said so. Yes. Well, it's complicated, guys. Come watch the chickens. All right, guys, that's it for me tonight. I appreciate it. Everybody sending a super chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sticking around. Once again, we'll eat Nick's lunch tomorrow, and we'll eat Joe's lunch tomorrow as well, because I don't think Joe will be in the way either, because he'll probably still be out of town. You should just get the robe and the red hat the Cardinals wear and just show up on a stream. Yeah, I think I'll have to find those hats the Cardinals wear. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Actually, hold on here. Yeah, the Cardinals hat that looks like the Zucchetto. I remember that now. As a kid. Learned that. So, yeah, maybe I'll get one and wear it on a stream. That'll be great. Tim still can't land a kickflip, yeah. Normally he does Saturdays, but if he's out of town, I don't know if he's going to have a chance to do it. So, yeah, I just didn't take it off the screen. So, all right, guys, well, don't be Nick's altar boy. Hey, I got through my time as an altar boy without any problems. So, and get a Sikh headdress, yeah. I can be like Justin Trudeau and paint my face black as well. So, well, yeah, today would be Shabbos for him, representing the Sabbath, and tomorrow night, just like every other Saturday night, he can get on. So, that's, for Joe. So yeah, he wasn't going to be on tonight anyway. Guys, that's it. That's it for me, though. I am exhausted. It's been a long day. Fucked around a lot, but also got a lot of work done. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.